This is a quick demonstration of a Jaguar PDU machine showing you how to set up the throttle position and kickdown position of the throttle sensors. First one to do is to go into and select. If I go close up here, hopefully you can see the screen. Press engine setup, select again, press off ignition, select high handbrake, and then that gives you a quick display of what components are required to connect for this particular setup. This is a Jaguar XJS 6 litre V12 1994 with it's got an OBD socket, but it's obviously not compatible with OBD2, so therefore you need this machine to do it. So if you press select that and then turn ignition on. One mistake I made earlier on is because I fitted an immobiliser, you have to turn the immobiliser off like that before you put the ignition on, otherwise the ECUs have no power. So right, that's now on, ignition's on, press select, then you get the options of a full engine setup or engine setup individual check. So we'll do the full engine setup just to go into that and show you what it can do. You select that, and then basically then there's a little chat with ECUs, and it comes up with it's a 6 litre V12 Jaguar XJS three-way catalytic converter, and then you tick that box. Then it reads any error codes which are on the computer at the moment, and nothing in this case. So you press select, then it logs into the computer, checks the transmission gear computer, which is General Motors 4L80E, and also checks for fault codes on that. No fault codes on that. Then you should be allowed to go into the setup mode for the throttle position once it's loaded the data. Before I started this, you have to get a CD-ROM and load it into the PDU machine for what vehicle you're going to test. But I'll bypass that bit because obviously that takes a bit longer. So we say we do want to set it, so say yes, and then basically that gives you, I don't know how well you can see that, but that shows you like a bar chart there with two marks which are between these two parts here, and as long as basically without if I put my foot on the throttle, you can see that bar moving. That's just touching the throttle backwards and forwards. So in other words, with the throttle in its idle position, the bar must be between these two marks, which it is. And it's also indicated by a voltage here. So providing that bar is between these two marks, it's okay. And you can then, if it wasn't, then you make adjustments with the throttle cable, or the actual throttle position sensor may require rotating. So I'm now going to tick that box because I'm happy with that, and it will check it, and it says test pass, so it's happy with that as well. If you press that again, okay, and then basically you're then going to adjust the throttle position without going into kickdown. Otherwise you push the throttle down until it touches the kickdown pedal but doesn't activate it. So you tick that, and now it's asking for there, and again the two marks are here, and there's nothing shown on there at the moment, but when I put my foot on the accelerator it should come down to between those two bars if I've set it correctly. So if I put my foot right down there, there you go, that's foot right down without actually pressing the kickdown pedal. So you can see it's between the two bars there, which I've set up. If I then press the button there, it will then check that, and again it says test passed. So you can then click that, and then you can release the accelerator, and then you then click it again, reconnect the kickdown switch if you removed it. I didn't actually have to remove it, so that's not a problem. And then click that, and then it will go into the last test of the throttle position, which is basically with the throttle flat out on the floor. So in other words, the kickdown switch will then be activated. Okay, so you then put your foot. So again, there's no bar shown on there at the moment. I'm now going to, but you can see the two marks are slightly different positions, one there and one there. And then if I put my foot right down the accelerator now to the floor, it should be between those two bars, and you can see it's just gone past the first bar. That's foot right on the floor now. If I then click that, that should then say test passed again. So that is now the 3 setups to do with the throttle position and idle position. That's all set up correctly. When I first got this machine going, I connected it. All the settings were way out of adjustment, even though it didn't look like it had been touched for a long time. The bar on the kickdown was a long way out, much lower voltage than it should be, so that's going to make a big difference when I try it on the road. So I go into that, and then basically that then goes back into the start of the menu again. So that's the procedure for setting up all the throttle position. Hope that explains the first setting anyway. Thank you.